Today's bulletin is going to focus on the England under-21s and on the England under-19s because they've both got really big weeks ahead of them. This international break is massive for England and for Thomas Tuchel, but it's also huge for Lee Carsley and the under-21s playing their last two games before the squad will be announced for the under-21 Euros in Slovakia this summer. And for the under-19s, under Will Antwi, this is an absolutely ginormous week. So let me talk you through it. Starting with the 21s, the sad thing is that they're playing at the same time as the senior team on Friday night against France and on Monday night against Portugal. I'm going to make sure these are on a second screen. The games, I believe, are being streamed on YouTube, and I need to have an eye on this because this is exceptionally strong opposition for the under-21s, which is perfect preparation for the Euros in Slovakia in June, where quite often in qualifying the 21s have it quite easy and often rack up quite big scores, as you might expect, given the talent at Lee Carsley's disposal. But in the groups and in the knockouts of the Euros tournaments, the games are much tighter. And it's really important, I think, that they have exposure to top under-21s teams, which is absolutely France and Portugal heading into it. So in the group in Slovakia, we've got Czechia, we've got Germany, and we've got Slovenia. So there'll be a mixture of level of opposition. Clearly, the game against Germany will be, on paper, the big game of the group. And so to play France and Portugal, I think, will do wonders for this team. Let me talk through things. I mean, Lee Carsley's back in the dugout. That's obviously a real headline for the under-21s in this camp. This is where I feel Lee Carsley belongs, and there's a few things that he said when he was England's interim manager that make me think this is where he's most comfortable. I think as a coach, as a developer of players, that's where his passions lie, and therefore I think this is where he offers so much value to the England setup and to the FA. I actually saw him earlier today at St George's Park. He was looking very chipper. He was heading out to the training pitches. Ashley Cole here as well, who assists him. They looked absolutely buzzing to get their hands on this squad because it is an unbelievable group of players for under-21 level. That's not even taking into account there are 7 players in the England senior team who would still be eligible for the under-21s. That's the likes of Jude Bellingham, Morgan Rogers, James Trafford, Levi Colwill, Lewis Skelly, of course, and others. If you like exciting players with speed and skill and technical talent, this under-21 squad is about as exciting as it gets. And the fact that Carsley's the manager, and since he's been 21's manager, and we saw it when he was England manager, he is committed to playing a really exciting, open and attacking brand of technical football, which is very difficult for the England senior team to put into practice. But hopefully he'll be able to get the most out of this squad. If you just like transfer fees and big numbers, how about this for a line? The estimated transfer fees of this under-21 squad is £257 million. That's money that's been spent on these players already in their careers while they're still eligible for the under-21s. This isn't transfer marked value. That's fees already paid. £257 million. 20 million for Taylor Harwood-Bellis, 40 million for Archie Gray, 25 for Alex Scott, 27 for Omari Hutchinson, 38 odd in total for Jaden Philogene over 3 different moves. Jay Stansfield as well, Adam Wharton, Liam Delap, Sam Illing Jr. All these guys have gone for big money. To talk through the squad, instead of just listing the squad in positions, here's what a training match might look like out on the fields of St George's Park today. For Team A, we could have Beadle in goal with a back 4 of Archie Gray at right back, where he played for Leeds last season, Egan Riley, the Burnley centre-back, making his debut 21 squad, Jared Branthwaite, who only narrowly missed out on the senior squad, and Dennis Serkin, the Sunderland left-back, who makes his first under-21 squad. The back 4 for Team B would be Tommy Simkin on loan at Walsall from Stoke, maybe Rico Lewis at right back, Sam Illing Jr. at left back. He started the last 2 games at left back for the under-21s, albeit he is, I think, a winger by trade. Taylor Harwood-Bellis, he of an England cap and goal, and Charlie Cresswell at centre back. How about this midfield battle? Hayden Hackney, Alex Scott, and Elliot Anderson for Team A against Team B, Adam Wharton, Hinshelwood, and James McAtee. McAtee has been probably the star of England under-21s his last few international breaks and is an unbelievable player for this team. Out wide, Omari Hutchinson and Jaden Philogene for Team A. Ethan Waneri and Harvey Elliott for Team B. Not bad at all. And up top, there's Liam Delap for Team A, Jay Stansfield for Team B. That's without mentioning Jobe Bellingham. this is a squad with ridiculous central midfield options, I think it's fair to say. That's without mentioning Jamie Gittins, the Dortmund winger, who's got quite a few under-21s caps, is one of the most experienced members of this squad. He could easily start on the left flank. That's without Teddy Sharman-Lowe, the third keeper, who's on loan at Doncaster this season from Chelsea. So really, really interesting squad, stacked with talent. One thing that stands out is that all three goalkeepers are currently on loan, playing in the EFL, playing week to week. And that's James Beadle of Brighton on loan at Sheffield Wednesday, Teddy Sharman-Lowe of Chelsea on loan at Donny Rovers, and Tommy Simkin on loan at Walsall from Stoke. When you think that the four senior team goalkeepers, Pickford, Henderson, Ramsdale, Trafford, all started their career on loan in the EFL, it shows very specifically for England's goalkeepers the importance of getting out and playing games at a young age, where opportunities to start games as a goalkeeper in the Premier League at a young age are super scarce. It also shows, from the other side of the coin, the quality individuals that a lower league team can get on loan for a season if they're willing to put their faith in a sort of elite young goalkeeper talent. In terms of continuity from the team that won the 2023 Euros under Carsley, Taylor Harwood-Bellis, he's like Carsley's favourite son. We saw that with Carsley giving him a call up to the senior team for the last international break. He'll be leader and legend at the back line for the 21s in Slovakia. Jared Branthwaite was in that squad as well, albeit didn't play many games in 2023. And that's the same for Harvey Elliott, who was mostly refined to a bench role, and Charlie Cresswell as well. There's also 4 first-time call-ups in the form of the Arsenal wonder kid, Ethan Nwaneri, CJ Egan-Riley, as mentioned, of Burnley, who has just been named the EFL's Young Player of the Month. Dennis Sirkin makes his first squad, as does Teddy Sharman-Lowe. I guess, as a 21s fan, one thing that I'm a little uncertain about is this squad doesn't feel incredibly established. Maybe I'm overrating what sort of shape the 2023 Euros winners were in a few months before the tournament. But that team, certainly when it took to the pitch in Georgia, looked incredibly coherent, looked like they understood each other's roles and had played some football with each other. That 2023 squad, at the time that it was announced, had 14 players with 8 under-21 caps or more, whereas this squad only has 8 players currently with 8 caps or more. So I'm just wondering if this group is a little behind their predecessors when it comes to developing a kind of team bond and team spirit. That's not to say there isn't a group of players who are pretty established at this level. I mean, I mentioned McAtee. He's played a lot of games for the 21s. Harwood-Bellis. These are going to be the leaders of the group, I think it's fair to say. I wonder if there's an extent to which the fact that Carsley missed the last 3 international breaks as the England senior manager, does that have an impact on my thinking here as well? Is there going to be any awkwardness with him dropping back down to this level? Will the vibe have changed at all? Ben Futcher stood in for those 3 camps and got some very good results. Is there anything messy around that and Carsley rejoining the squad so close to the tournament? I'm probably overthinking this. I'm probably worrying about stuff that doesn't need worrying about. But these games are going to be really interesting. France have in their 21s team Ryan Cherki, the Lyon starlet, who has 18 assists in all competitions this season for his club. He's got 12 goals in 20 caps for France under 21s. He is going to be likely just as good as any players that England have on the pitch on Friday night. And then on Monday, a couple of players that we recognise from Premier League football who play for Portugal's under-21s, Matheus Fernandes of Southampton, Fabio Silva as well, and another Wolves player inevitably in Rodrigo Gomez. So really difficult opposition, big test for Carsley in this team, and I'm interested to see how it goes. And just quickly on the under-19s, they've got a huge week coming up because the Euros at under-19 level is also in June. It's in Romania rather than Slovakia, and we've not qualified for it yet. In fact, no one has apart from the hosts. It all comes down to this international break where there's essentially a mini tournament before the tournament to qualify for it. We are in a group of 4 with Wales to come on Wednesday, Turkey to play on Saturday, and Portugal next Tuesday. And it's essentially a mini-league. It's a group of 4. We're going to play 3 games, and whoever wins the group qualifies for the final tournament. Anyone else doesn't. So it's massive for the coach, Will Antwi, and this under-19s group. Because there's 3 games in, 6 days? You've got to think that maybe more so than the 21s, more so than the seniors, the depth, the full depth of this squad is going to be needed. And there are some pretty big names, despite this being an under-19 team. You've got a lot of players with first-team experience. Lewis Miley in the Premier League with Newcastle, Tyler Dibbling of Southampton, Mikey Moore, who's been involved with Spurs all season, and Chris Rigg of Sunderland, who's been a starter for them for the best part of 18 months now. Not only that, Chelsea have a huge impact on this under-19s team. 6 of the players, of the 22 players, are Chelsea players. Tyreek George being one of them, who we saw coming on at the Emirates the other day. Josh Ajampong is part of the team, as well as Keanu Dyer. These are pretty big names at youth level. Cobham Academy kids who have, pretty consistently filled out England youth teams for a long time now. So just keep your eye on these under-19s fixtures. These games are taking place outside of the senior team, outside of the 21s. So, set a reminder, make sure you stay across them. We want it to be a feature of the England pod to kind of support these young players, track their progress and celebrate their victories and feel their disappointments. So when it comes to the under-21s playing France and Portugal, but maybe particularly over the next week, the under-19s, let's just keep an eye on them. Let's see how they go. Let's support them all together. And within that group, there are going to be some stars of the future, probably first for the under-21s and then hopefully the England senior team in the long term.